What's good, everybody? It's Mike Reed, and welcome to My Life Ministries, where leadership, influence, faith, and evolvement are the principles that we look to live by every single day of our life. And by us living those principles, it helps us to help youth to become motivated young leaders that implement faith every day in their lives as well. God has put God has put us in a place to where He's telling us that it's time for us to stand alone. And He's put us here and He said, I need you to stand alone right here in this moment. And the problem with standing alone is that He places us here and He tells us to look out. And as we look out, all we can see in front of us is thousands upon thousands of soldiers with one intention and one mindset. And what that is to destroy you and to take you out. And God says, I need you to stand here alone. And while we're standing here alone, it gets to a position and a place in our life to where we don't understand. And the more that we stand here, God keeps telling us to look out. And He keeps telling us, pay attention. He keeps telling us to see. And we're looking at it because the war that's in front of us is much bigger than what we anticipated. It's much bigger than what we thought. It's much bigger than what we even we can't even comprehend the things that we face and the things that we go through in our life. It's just that big. And we say, Lord, why am I standing here alone? And God begins to respond because He wants you to understand that everything that you see that's in front of you, the soldiers, the wars, the giants, everything that you face, although you look at it and you see more defeat than you see victory, everything that's in front of you, and the reason why you're standing here alone is because God wants you to understand that everything that's out there is all meant to grow you. It's all meant to make you better. It's all meant to strengthen you. It's all meant to make you into the person that He created you to be. So when He tells you to stand alone here, what He's telling you is that you have to have standalone faith. You have to have standalone faith because although it feels like you are in this situation by yourself, you are not, because God is standing right there with you. So we forget because He told us to stand here and He told us to look out. We forget that He's standing there at the same time, giving us the instructions of what it is that we need to do. And because He's given us the instructions of what it is that we need to do, He wants us to stand here alone so that we can understand that it's our faith in Him that we have to make sure that we have the faith by ourselves to trust Him enough that He's going to show up, to trust Him enough that He's going to make a way. And a lot of times what happens is because we allow our faith to be connected with so many different individuals, and there's other people out there that don't understand what God is doing in your life. So their faith is not going to be like your faith. Their faith is not going to be like yours. And you have to remember that. But so many times we try to attach ourselves to what everybody else is doing or everybody else is thinking, and we go off of their emotion and we go off of their their feelings, and we go off of what they feel is supposed to happen and what they feel is not going to happen, and then we get consumed and we get caught up with the way that they think. When God is telling you that it's time for you to stand alone. And what I mean by standing alone, that doesn't mean that we got to get to the point to where we don't need help, or we got to go in that direction to where we just don't depend on things and depend on people or anything like that. When God puts people in your life, you will know. You will know when God puts people in your life. But in this moment right now, God wants you to understand that it's going to take your faith. It's going to take your faith to trust in Him, your faith to believe in Him, your faith to understand and know what God is asking of you to do, no matter how many soldiers you see in front of you. See, those soldiers, they represent your problems. Those soldiers, they represent the things that you are going through. They represent the things that you are facing in your life. They represent the trials and the tribulations and the hardships. The war, yes, it's unexpected. The war, yes, is bigger than what you thought that it was going to be. But God built you for this. He built you as a soldier. And you got to think about it. If God told you to stand alone and to look at everything that's out there that has one mindset, one intention, and that is to destroy you, and He put you there by yourself, Don't you think that God has equipped you? He has created in you. He has taught you. He has showed you everything that you need to do and everything that you need to know of how to defeat that. And the way that you are going to defeat it is by being obedient and saying, okay, Lord, I'm going to stand here no matter what it is that I see in front of me. And I'm going to trust in you as a good soldier. I'm going to trust in you, and I'm going to lean and I'm going to depend on you, and I'm going to believe that you are going to show up and that you are going to make a way. God wants your faith to be strong enough in him. God wants your faith to be bold enough in him. God wants you to believe no matter what it is no matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter if it comes down to the last day of things. It does not matter if it comes down to where you're just like, Lord, I don't know what I'm going to do. God placed you there. That's what you have to remember. He's placed you in the middle of the battle. He's placed you in the middle of the war, and he's placed you there by yourself because he wants you to understand, do you have enough faith in me to show up? Do you have enough faith that I'm going to be your waymaker? Do you have enough faith that I'm going to provide? If I tell you to stand here and I tell you to have standalone faith, is that what you're going to have? Or are you going to be fearful? Are you going to keep focusing on the defeat instead of the victory? Are you going to sit here and you're going to allow worry to consume you? Because what does worry do? It does nothing. Or are you going to believe in me? I know that things get hard and things get difficult and things get hectic. But in the position that you are in your life right now, I need you to stand here alone because I need to know, are you going to lean and depend on me? Are you going to lean and depend on others? Because you feel like I need their faith to be connected with me. I need them to walk with me. I need them to do this and I need them to do that. And you find yourself consumed and you find yourself depending on others in a moment to where God is saying, no, you don't need to bring nobody else with you in this moment. And the reason why you don't need to bring anybody else with you in this moment, because it's going to be your faith that is going to bring your breakthrough. God is looking for your faith to be increased. He's looking for your faith to be bold. So you have to stand alone and you have to be faithful in him. You have to stand alone and you have to believe in him. You have to stand alone and believe in his favor. Believe that he is a God of miracles. Believe that he is a God that will provide for the will that he has for you in your life. You have to trust and you have to believe in God. Can you do that in this moment when God tells you to stand alone, regardless of what it looks like in front of you? Regardless if you have thousands upon thousands of soldiers that are charging at you. They're charging at you and you're looking at it to the point to where you're like, God, I'm by myself. Do you trust that I will provide? In the moment that you trust in God and you believe in God is the moment that God, he sends his angel armies to go ahead of you and fight your battle. You may look behind you and it may be quiet. You may look behind you and you may not see anything. But that just gives you the understanding to know that even when you can't see, God is working. Even when you don't know, God is working. There's so much behind the scenes things that God is putting together for you in your life. But you got to have faith. And not only faith, but you got to have standalone faith. You got to have the faith to where it's like, Lord, if this person right here doesn't believe the way that I believe, if this person over here doesn't believe the way that I believe, or they're not understanding what you're speaking to me and what you're telling me, oh, well, you got to stand alone in this moment. God wants to see, can you trust me by yourself? Can you believe in me by yourself? Can you allow the faith in me to be bold enough to bring your breakthrough, to bring your miracle, to bring what you've been praying for, to bring what I've been testing you with? God has a plan. God has a plan and he has a will for your life. So don't let yourself get so caught up because you're seeking and you're searching and you're leaning and you're depending on others in the moment that God has you in. God will put people in your life in times and in moments that they will be there to help and be there to give and be there to do things for you the way that God intended for them to be able to do for you in your life. But there comes a moment to where God will isolate you. And isolation is not pretty all the time. Isolation is not comfortable all the time. But everything that happens in your life, you have to remember that God, he trains you for it. God, he builds you for it. And what the devil meant for bad, God will always turn it around for the good. But you got to trust in him. You have to lean on him and you have to depend on him, because in this moment, God wants you to have standalone faith. He wants you to have standalone faith, and he wants you to trust in him. That's the reason why he tells you, look out. He doesn't want you to hide from the enemy. He doesn't want you to be afraid of the enemy. He doesn't want you to see defeat before you see victory. He wants you to look the enemy in the eye. He wants you to see every adversary that tries to come against you. He wants you to understand, yes, they have the mindset, they have the motives, they have the intentions to taking you out, to steal, kill, and destroy you. That's their only plan. But he wants you to stand there with boldness to say, I have the faith in me. I trust in my Father. I know that God will provide. I know that God is going to make a way. I know that God is going to turn everything around for my good. It's that standalone faith. It's that faith. It's that faith like David. It's that faith like Abraham. You got to have that type of faith that when God asks you to do something, when God tells you to do something, you be obedient with it. And you have to trust in God no matter how big the giant looks. You have to trust in God no matter how crazy the task sounds. You have to trust in God. When God directs you to go in directions to where you're like, God, I have no idea where you're telling me to go, but you know that God is telling you to move. You know that he's telling you to move. That's how God works. He'll push you and he will direct you. And on the journey, he will give you the answer, whether to take a left or whether to take a right. You have to trust and you have to lean and you have to depend on him. You got to know that God will provide in every situation of your life. It does not matter how many thousands upon thousands of soldiers are in front of you. It does not matter their artillery. It does not matter their plans, their skills. It does not matter whatever it is. When God places you there, in that place, in that war, in that battle, and he tells you to stand there alone, and he tells you to look out, he's letting you know right in that moment that I am right here with you. And all I need you to do is just trust and believe. All I need you to do is just have faith. All I need you to do is to understand that I will provide for you. And if you can know that in the middle of looking at everything that's out there in front of you, everything that's out there in front of you, I will flood it. And I will send everything to defeat the enemies that are in front of you. Nothing will harm you. Nothing will take you out. Nothing will destroy you. You are already blessed. You are already favored. The plan is already working out according to God. So we have to learn when God places us in situations and we look at the situations that are surrounding us in our life, the war that is surrounding us in our life, the soldiers that are surrounding us in our life, the enemy that is surrounding us in our life. Does not matter how many there is. God is so much bigger, and he wouldn't put you in that place to stand alone if he did not have an answer or he did not have a solution, and he was not going to give you the victory. So stand alone in your faith, and you trust God. You trust God with all of your heart, and you lean not on your own understanding. And in all of your ways, you acknowledge him, and you let him direct your path. You watch what God does in your life, but you got to stand alone in this moment. You got to have faith by yourself in this moment, because that's what God wants to see. Can you trust me enough? Do you believe in me enough? Do you know who I am? That's where God wants you at. So stand alone in your faith and let God be your way maker. Let God be your miracle. Let God be your provider. You guys have a wonderful and a blessed day, and I'll talk to you soon.